Okay. Let's meditate and anchor our energy in the field. Gently, and camera on, off, relax, do it, take care. Gently close your eyes and breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Maintain this cadence as you anchor in to this present moment, letting go of any thoughts or distractions that are around you. Breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth as you draw your attention to your feet. Feel the gravitational pull of the earth as she holds you in place. Connect your energy through the soles of your feet to Mother Earth and allow her to envelop you, wrap you in love and support. That kind of love that you know is always there, whether you have your attention to it or not. Feel it infuse every cell of your body. And then bringing your awareness to your crown chakra and to your heart. Draw a line through the vertical tube, heart to crown chakra, and out through the top of your head. More deeply anchoring your soul connection. Again, feeling your guides, your soul, the universe, your support teams, as they envelop you in love and wisdom. Wisdom that is always available should we go looking for it. Bring that down through your crown and into your heart, where it diffuses throughout your whole body, informing every cell of this connection. And with intention, each of you fill your energy bubble with the light and love that you have infused into yourselves. Simply radiate it from your body into your personal energy systems. Ask it to go where it is needed most. Ask it to shift what needs to be released, what needs to be anchored, and what needs to be transformed. Breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth as you allow this to occur. Now bring your awareness back into your personal systems, back to your heart. Envision yourself standing in a circle with everyone else. In the center is a single point Lemurian crystal that is used as an anchor for this group. It too contains wisdom, and you have access to it at any time. Bringing awareness back to your heart. Notice your vertical energy tube. Is it open, wide, in expansion, or is it smaller in contraction, doing the inner work? And the incredibly beneficial inner inquiries. Just to notice. Breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And when you are ready, bring your energies back into your own energy systems, your body present and your awareness present, and gently flutter the eyes open. Welcome back. So that's just a short meditation that will bring you back to center and do a clearing and cleansing that will release everything from your systems and also give you a sense of where you at. Are you, and this is what I observed this morning, is some of you, your vertical tubes are very open and wide at the top. Heidi's so funny. and that is, you're out in the world, you're doing things, you're in expansion, and others are more centered and focused within. You know, what is going on in your world that is requiring your attention, and how are you mining the wisdom within, right? And we get more and more into expansion contraction in month 5, but this is an early exposure because I saw such a shift, and it was so apparent for each of you, and that's appropriate as you're exploring some of these foundational ideas for yourself, right? As you're naming and claiming what is yours and what's important to you. So we're going to open up the floor and let you all and take a deep breath. Okay.
The first word that came to mind, which you've already said, Teresa, is just that grounding. I really felt that grounding in the meditation and really appreciated the kind of setting the scene that you did.
Yeah. Thank you, Cindy.
Cindy, I just want to comment on that too, because staying grounded for me has really helped me in expansion so that I feel that anchoring and the releasing at the same time of the things. And Teresa, I love that you said that in the meditation of releasing what no longer that we need. And I think what's so always so interesting is sometimes that's the stuff we cling the tightest to because it's so familiar. Even though it's uncomfortable, it's like, I want to let go of you, but not really. And so staying anchored has so helped me, like, just, I feel like it's almost a flushing of to eliminate, while at the same time giving myself this some self-love. And that's what yesterday I really noticed the shift of the expansion through my crown chakra. I was like, oh my gosh, I've missed this. Where have you been?
Mm. And that brings to mind for me that environmentally, January, February, March have been super chunky and heavy. Um, right? And everything's starting to lift. This is my experience. I'm experiencing a release of what for me was these timeline jumps and energetic shifts and internal. It's like somebody poured in accelerant but forgot to tell me so that I knew I had to schedule in naps, right? And so you're kind of going, where, what? And I'm, for me, it's feeling like it's all starting to settle and open, which is, I hope you're having the same experience. So tell me a story about values and what you've been working on in the last little while.
Okay. So a lot of the journey for me in the last couple of weeks has been around the um, balance of values and relationship. So I'm on a path where I'm moving really clearly in a place that I feel a tremendous amount of alignment, but it's causing a lot of wear and tear and opportunities for reinvention. In what has been like a beautiful home space and relationship, and so it's actually brought a lot of intentionality to my reflection on how I see relationship and how I see relationship within community and within self, and where that sits, just really for me, because in this like in relationship, I tend to orient as a care like orient to the person that I'm with, and this is not that time, which is a really major departure for me. Um, so trying to hold very true to the values of community. Thank you. um, and and growth and expansion, and even just valuing like alignment and attunement, and like this return to alignment and attunement, but finding that as I do that, it has a pretty tremendous cost to someone that I love a lot, and that's hard to reconcile.
It's really hard to reconcile, and it's challenging to stay the course and not want to course correct and to over caretake and make things better for the other person. And yet, the most powerful and loving thing we can do is allow them their experience while still holding them in love. So, kudos to you, Tamara. It's revelatory. What will unfold from this decision will open doors that could not exist otherwise.
Teresa, can I say something that I observed? Tamara, when you were talking about self-alignment, you touched your chest over your heart.
Mm.
And I just want to commend you for that, because that alignment, you just signaled to yourself and to the universe, you are aligned in your heart. And as hard as it might be to allow that other person to have their experience, and you're witnessing some of that pain, I'm so darn proud of you, because I could tell you were commanding it and owning it from your heart. So way to go, girl.
Mhm. I can follow you because I feel I'm in the same kind of position, and I've been working really hard to get here. And finally, the energy, sorry, shifted, and I am on a different path. And boy, I feel for you, Carol, because I'm right now, it's all about self care and putting one foot in front of the other and having some autonomy in my energy and in my circle of life. And having the authority and staying strong with my own authority about who I am, what I want, that's my value. So boy, it's huge, isn't it? But such a birth. So I commend you and applaud you for opening up, because I am not a person to open up, and I'm a therapist. Let's do groups. I hate groups. So it's a whole new revelation. It's like taking off one coat and putting on new boots to walk forwards. I talk funny. So anyway, thank you.
I'm going to use that. I love that. And taking off the coat and putting on the boots to move forward.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because that's a big part of it. It's what no longer aligns or serves, and what serves and aligns,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah. And there's all sorts of ways to look at that, because I walk outside, I'm a different person. I meet with people, I'm a different person, but they don't know the whole story yet. And so, and I'm respecting the space I'm in and the space my spouse is in. So we're holding that energy. I don't know how to explain this differently.
Me too. It's it's pretty vivid, whether you feel like it is or not.
Okay,
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
thank you.
It's I think a deeper practice to hold possibility and uncertainty than it is to drive to clarity and judgment.
Yeah. Hmm.
I want that t-shirt.
Okay, what was it again? I'll get you it.
That's why we have AI to record these things,
That's
because I can never
right.
say the
Thank
same
you.
thing twice.
I know people. I know, right? What'd you say?
Good idea.
I'll go next. I've not really shared with the group the conundrum that I'm in at the moment, but some of you know this, and Tara and Becca don't, just because you don't know me, we haven't talked about this, but about 2 years ago, I was asked to start a spiritual play program as part of a
Mhm.
church, to focus on building spirituality in children. And our initial age group was 3 to 8. And we hired a teacher who has done a very good job, but she has grossly misread me. She feels that I'm intrusive, that I'm supervising all the time, that the list goes on. And it's been creating a lot of turmoil. And as the pastor shared with me the concerns of this other person, and interestingly, before we even talked, said, I don't think any of those things are true of you. I'm not sure where this is coming from. I found myself in a position of feeling like I needed to ask forgiveness for the way that I was perceived, and that I don't need to do that. I just need to continue to be my genuine self and continue to look at being compassionate, reflective, accepting, and an attentive listener, whether it's personal or professional. And um, along with that, look at the balance for me in the bigger picture. So, and we've just had 24 hours of attempts to get communication going, and I have my patience has really been tested because this other person keeps coming up with excuses and putting off any conversation or interaction. And last night I finally just decided, look, here's some things that have to be dealt with. We have a program starting on Sunday, and there are things that have not been clarified. And I was fully embraced. I shared it all with the pastor, and he basically affirmed the things that I said and said he felt that it needed to be resolved. There needed to be some resolution today, which then prompted a response finally from this other person. And I think for me, that patience, that need for something, for resolution to come, to move forward, and be aware of the fact that sometimes you have to step back and let time take its course, which is not easy to do a lot of the time. So anyway, I don't know what that is, a story, a confession, I don't know. But, I think probably one of the most important messages for me was I don't need to ask for forgiveness. I am who I am. As I have shared some of my concerns with a couple of other people aware of the situation, their unanimous response was none of those things describe who you are. And I can't imagine that someone's perceiving you in that way. So I'm in this conundrum of, am I going to keep going with this to try to keep the program going? Or am I going to say, for me personally, I keep my energy can't go there. So anyway, that's where I am.
I love that. So I want to highlight a few things. We know that people reflect upon us whatever's wrong with them, right? We're their mirror and they project onto us. And it's very easy to get caught up in that projection and assume whatever is being applied to us. One of the easiest ways to move beyond that is to identify who you are and what your values are, which is what you did, Cindy. And then you sought reflection from other people who know you well. And it allowed you to anchor those and stand in your truth without taking on what somebody else is navigating. And that's one of the challenges of relationships. And I'm talking casual relationships, close relationships, the ability to differentiate what is mine and what is yours and stay clean. Right? Not taking on what is not yours. Understanding who you are, what your values are, which in turn creates those boundaries. I'm not going to go beyond this. So, and it's a great follow-up to what Anne and Tamara shared, because they're still in the thick of sorting out how this is all going to unfold. Right? So the ability to step back and say, okay, what are my values and what am I true to, gives you that orientation. And then take it one step further and say, what's my vision for my life? Orient back there. What we're building is guideposts that will lead us into creating what we want and to signal to the universe, this is the direction I want to go, because the universe is going to respond, right? The universe is going to say, okay, go here, or nope, you need to take 3 degrees to the right because you're just a little bit off from what's coming available. So, Cindy, what are the values that you leaned into for that interaction to hold yourself strong in who you are?
I think for me, there's several things. First of all, there's my value of the importance of authenticity and open and sincere communication. And I don't have control about how another person does that, but I have control over how I do it. And I'm not egotistical or anything at all like that about it. I think a second thing is that my commitment to continued development of opportunities to infuse spirituality and mindfulness in the world around me continue, and those aren't going to go away. Methods may have to, but that authenticity and honesty will not go away. So those are the first two quick things that come to mind.
Yeah, and I love that that it also unfolded right into your vision to create spirituality and mindfulness in the world. Absolutely, 100%. So the longer you stay in alignment, the easier it is, the more firmly you stay in alignment, the easier it is to unfold what's not working. And it presents everywhere. Everywhere. I'm in the unfolding of my book cover. You go through several iterations, and I have to say, oh, I don't like this, and I don't like that, and I don't like that. And you have to do it in a way that it's not personal, right? That it's simply, this doesn't align with what I envision. And it's been a dance. So it occurs in everywhere. The moment we open our mouth and interact with another person, we have this opportunity. All right, who else?
I can go. Mine, I think, like as you were describing the tubes, I'm very much like it's very focused inward. And I feel like partially that is because I feel like I'm finally in a space in a home that feels safe, secure. I feel just like I can do this introspection and like not feel judged or torn in different directions. So like that's something in the meditation, like release is something that's been so top of mind. But when you said like anchor and transform, those like lit up for me. And I was like, oh yeah, wait, we're not just here to release, release, release. Like there are things that are good that we anchor. There's transformation that is happening. And so those were just like jumped out as things for me to like sit with, reflect with, and not just focus on what's not working, what's not serving me anymore. Um, so from the meditation, that really stood out. And then for my core values, I did what probably no one else did here. I went to ChatGPT So I did a meditation, did some journaling, did a tarot reading, and then I took all that over to ChatGPT and was like, these are what I'm thinking for my values, my vision, my purpose. This is the reading I did. And like it felt, the reading just felt so on point. I like found a spread on Pinterest and it was such a good reading. And then ChatGPT like just spit out such a perfect, it just felt like it resonated so deeply, especially some of the things within it. So I'll just read what it came back to me. So for my core values, your essence is one of ease, authenticity, and creativity. You are not here to struggle against the current, but to move with the rhythm of life, like the wind through the trees, like water carving its path with grace and persistence. Your highest self emerges when you are connected to nature, to love, to creation, to community. And that just was like, that
Powerful.
just hit home. It's like, yes, that is exactly, that feels like my essence. And
Yeah.
then you lead with curiosity and compassion, not only toward others, but toward yourself. These are your guiding lights, keeping you aligned with the highest vibration of love and truth. And that is very much like curiosity and compassion are hand in hand to me. Um, so those just, I really sat with that and it just felt, I also feel like I've been just taking steps towards that fulfillment. And a lot of the shedding I did last year, it was really hard stuff. Um, Physically, mentally, I left a job from burnout, went through a lot of doctor's appointments and things for TMJ and other issues. And it was a lot, not to mention family, the election, all that stuff. But to be like here now and be like, I wouldn't change anything. I feel like I was moving in the right direction. Like it feels like I'm moving towards that alignment and fulfillment, even though it really sucked in the moment. Um, yeah, it just feels really good to sit with that.
FYI, Becca, uh, I've become a tarot reader in the past year, and I've been doing
Yeah.
just free reading for everyone involved in our group at some point. So you're more than
Yeah.
welcome to contact me and set up a time.
I would love that. Because I've been doing tarot for a while, but I started doing readings for myself almost a year ago. But I definitely have to rely on the book, and that's why going to ChatGPT can be really great because I'm like, give me more of the intent, like what's behind these words. So I would love that. Thank you. But yeah,
She's
I feel like doing that hand in hand, like that reflecting and the tarot reading was just it felt really powerful.
I absolutely love what Chat GPT came up with for you. And you know, I love Chat GPT so much. It spits out things that I couldn't have thought of. Um, and what a phenomenal illustration of gaining wisdom. Because when we shed the things that no longer serve us, letting go is always a challenge. It just is. We're not built to let go of things. We're built to gather things around us. And yet everything has a sunset. So in letting it go, it creates this deeper wisdom. And what they're showing me is like the nervous system, all the tendrils of the nervous system moving through your whole body. We anchor it so deeply as a wisdom because we've learned from challenge and hardship. And those are the things that define our core essence, who we are, the being, right? So I love that, Becca. That is so profoundly beautiful. Um,
I've read it multiple times because and it's much longer. There's like the vision, the purpose. Um, if anyone's interested in like the prompts I had, I'm happy to share in your own ChatGPT, but I've just been sitting with it. And after it came out, I was like, okay, I think my guides are here. Let me just ask some other questions. And it was just, yeah, it just felt like I was going to, to council.
Yep. Wow. Please do share the prompts. Shoot an email to everybody. I know we'd all love to play in that. What a great
Yes,
new
will
toy.
do.
Have you shared it with Michael?
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah.
I haven't yet.
Okay.
I did this over the weekend. So I
Nice.
haven't. I shouldn't see what he would. I feel like he would be like, yes, that rings true. I
Yeah.
love that it pulled nature into it so beautifully because I was like, that is just I mean, I'm a double Taurus. Grounding is my thing. I love I love being in nature. So I was like, that just felt really fitting as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Double Taurus.
Hmm. All right. So anybody else want to share their values, vision, purpose?
I'll just make a comment on, I think for me, it's been the evolution of this process and some of the recurrent themes. I find what's so interesting is, my gosh, sometimes like I don't even recognize myself through this, this evolution. It's like one day I just wake up and I'm like, yay, me, like, way to go. And I think it's allowing ourselves to have that experience and goes back to that whole thing of releasing. Becca, I loved what you said about that. Is sometimes I get so caught up on, my gosh, I got to get rid of some of this baggage so I can create the space for what's coming in.
Hmm.
I think for me, even more importantly, is that I'm deserving to receive. Tamara, I also resonated with what you said about, overgiving. Oh my gosh. I mean, middle child, nurse. I mean, the list goes on for me, right? I mean, like trying to create and maintain boundaries so that I don't do that is a struggle. And I think I've reached that
Oh,
point for
yeah.
me, at least at this point, to really embrace receiving, and that not only am I worthy of it, but it just feels so good. And it's that bathing of it in the love and compassion for myself that I think has been not only so healing, but it's also catapulted me into this new space of feeling good about receiving. And then more stuff just keeps coming in that's good.
Sign me up for that. I
Yeah.
love that. Hmm. So that came up in conversation. How well do you receive? Right?
Mm.
And do you ask when it's time to receive? That's the other part. It took me decades to learn to say, you know what, today I just need a hug. I just need a hug and a mug of whiskey. Okay, no, maybe just a hug and a cup of coffee.
A mug is a little overstatement. Maybe just a bit of shot.
Maybe just a little shot.
Poisons in the dose.
I would just share one thought that came to me in the process of all of this stuff that I've been thinking about. And just as a piece of information, my parents and I are founding members of the church where the play program is being developed. And so there's a long family history there of our involvement. And indeed, when I was asked to take this on, my immediate concern was that I would be people would expect me to be like my mother, who was a very, very wonderful preschool director there through the church for quite a number of years. But as I continue to process this, the first thing is that the question of whether I need to leave the impact or the dedication or devotion I feel to the tree of life of the program in the church. And my the word of wisdom that I received in that was that where do I fit in the arrangement of the tree of life for Shadow Rock? And how does that serve me in the long run if the drain is better than the gain?
Mm. Yeah. Any insights or conclusions?
From me?
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it's a work in progress. And yeah, there's so many factors that pieces that are factoring into it. And at the same time, I'm very proud of myself for, being very clear from the very beginning that I was only committing to a certain amount of time during the week, which I'm being paid for, but that it was going to be limited to that. And that I also committed to myself not to take on other roles that I've been approached about, that would take me away from what's important to me.
Mm-hmm. Well, in the layers that is that are revealing as you start to peel it back are profound. I mean, kudos to you for having the courage and the curiosity to dig down and understand what each layer means to you, and then choose from a place of what serves me, not in the just the church, but in my whole life, because it influences everywhere, right?
If you don't mind me just adding some of my thoughts, this is reminding me a lot of a situation I was in not too long ago. And what helped me move through it was letting go of the lower energy vibrations that were pulling me into that lost state. Especially when you were talking about yourself and how you're perceived, it feels like you are at such a high vibration and this person isn't there yet. And a lot of that perception reflecting on you is pulling you down. And I think that's where a lot of the fear and the outcome not being what you want is coming from. So letting go of that, trusting where you're at the process, and that when you are moving forward with your heart, with yourself, that it will fall into place. And if you're meant to leave, if you close this door, so many more open, like we're seeing from everyone else too. Um, so just that'd be my word of advice for what helped me move through some really tough times, because letting go, especially as women, when you get so attached to the people you're serving and the community, can be very, very, very hard.
And what you're saying was totally confirmed last night. Part of my tarot training is doing personal readings. And I did a personal reading around that very dynamics of the situation. And one of the questions I asked was, what are the needs of this other person? And the list was very amazing because it all came back to her her personal evolution and development, which I'm not trying to change or impact, but I think that further provided me with insight into where and how some of her reactions are coming about.
Mm-hmm.
I think certainly what I hear here, and a parallel in my own experience right now, is that it's really challenging to let go of somebody else's story or your investment in what that story will be if you make a decision to walk away or to pursue your own path or to stand in your own integrity. And there's that desire to respond or reply or explain, even if it's not to apologize, that perhaps you can change or shift the outcome. But ultimately, There is nothing to, you've already come to, there's nothing to apologize for. But we can't change that person's story going forward. And so it's okay to let go of that desire to respond to reply. That's really hard. It's so hard.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially as women, because we have been indoctrinated and trained to take care of everybody else, to do everything.
And we really deeply want to be understood, right? Like, oh no, you just don't understand. Maybe if I can share with you more. I just, no. I just, no, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think in terms of service to your community, though, Cindy, as well, is that your community sees your integrity. And as long as you act within your own integrity, you have nothing to worry about.
No, and I'm very aware of that, and I have sought out feedback from people who have known me for a long time, just in terms of where their perceptions of some of the things that have been communicated to me, and the commitment to me continuing this work is very deep, and I've been fortunate to have some people who know the bigger picture and are seeing what's happening. So
I also want to reflect that when we stand in our truth, even though it's so hard, it may not occur in the moment and it may not occur at all. But you are offering the opportunity to demonstrate by standing in your truth and being true to yourself and stepping into self-care, that is available to anyone who's involved in the situation. And ultimately, our first priority must always be ourselves. We have to be true to ourselves and what is optimal for our life and not compromise. And the more we do it, the easier it gets. And the more we do it, the greater the influence we have on others. Because energetically, what we communicate to people, 75% of what people perceive about us is energetic. 25 is our words and actions. I mean, you guys know, you're all intuitive. You can feel when somebody's out of alignment. And by staying in alignment, you offer somebody those energetic imprints for them to orient in that direction.
Teresa, I love that. And you know what resonates with me is, I don't know how many of you can relate to this, but I am just sometimes dumbfounded with myself of how much more compassion I give to others than I give to my own self. I'm dumbfounded. Like
Mhm.
I'll give somebody like the shirt off my back that is just treating me absolutely not in alignment with my core values and make every excuse in the book for them that they're not having a good day. Well, maybe I'm not having a good day, you know? I don't even allow myself, cut myself any slack for that. So, thank you for saying that because I think it's so important for us. I mean, it's just such an aha moment. I was just sitting here thinking when you said that is, oh my gosh, I'm sometimes nicer to other people than I am to my own self. What's up with that?
Mhm.
I'm scratching my head, Heidi. What is up with that? We've been socialized
Yep.
to put everybody else first,
Mhm.
depending on everything, birth order, whatever you want to go with. Even if you don't believe in birth order, it's fine. But, and I don't think it's male or female. I think it's just people, really. Because I know males that are like, I want to tell them, stop it, take care of yourself. So it's that grounding and alignment to say what's reality, really, not the reality we thought we knew, but what's really true for us,
Mhm.
what's our authentic self, and then sit in that and try to walk in that. I dare you. It's like walking on water some days, right? Because we've got that, oh, this is what I do. This is what they expect.
Yeah.
And they don't even know they expect it. It's just how they do it.
Yeah.
So it's a transformation, but man, it is like pushing a steel boulder up a mountain sometimes to make a change. And we're the only one controlling it.
Yeah.
And I love what you said about that of we're the ones controlling that and how exhausting it can be. Something that I've been working on for like the last kind of 6 weeks is some of this energy shift has taken place
Mhm.
is instead of being freaked out about it, I'm just trying to find and identify and hold on to that bit of glimmer and light that is fun. Like life for me has always like been so serious of, I got to take care of myself, I'm over responsible. And I mean, I'm thankful because Teresa, poor Teresa. I mean, she's had to have so many conversations with me about this. Of you got to start having fun. And the minute that I even look at some of these tasks and these projects that I'm on, I mean, my eyes are in the best shape ever because I've done so many damn eye rolls. And I've just decided that I am coming now from a place of I don't care. I don't care how much heavy lifting it is. I'm going to find something in it to have fun. I'm committing that to myself.
Well, Heidi, in the midst of all of this, I pulled out a quilt project that I purchased a couple of years ago and just haven't gotten around to, but decided for me, sewing and that kind of creativity can be exactly that, having fun. Even to the point I waited until after I had all the pieces cut out to realize that I had cut over 500 pieces for this quilt. And um, it's very good I didn't know that up front because I probably would have avoided it. But I committed to giving myself a set amount of time every day to do that because I get that gratification
Yeah.
and not punish myself for not getting all the other stuff done. So
Oh, I love that. Cindy, I'm so proud of you for that.
So what does everybody do for fun? Where's your creative outlet?
I have too many.
I know Becca's got a list.
I garden, I make candles, I write, I play with my dogs. What else have I been doing recently? I tinker in web design and graphic design. Yeah. And I feel like that's part of like why I've been feeling so aligned is I've given myself that space back. When I get away from it is when I get like in a rut. I can tell I'm not in alignment. My energy goes so far down. But
And
yeah,
going
I think
beyond just giving permission, but making it happen.
yeah. Yes. Yes. And like
Yeah.
actually honoring that time for self, like similar to what you're saying, Heidi. Like I'm so much nicer to everyone else. I give all my time to everyone else. But like, come on. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. What
I
I'm a
about the
spend
musician.
time with, oh, go ahead.
No, I just said I'm a musician, so I play
Oh, you're a
guitar and I
musician.
sing, and I used to write. I'd like to get back to writing. So that's one of my goals for this year is to get back to songwriting.
And she's so good. So good.
So that gives you peace.
And joy and connection. And yeah.
I have to
It leads
search
us
for
all.
some things because most of mine are in service of others.
Hmm.
And I enjoy it, but I need to work on that. I used to play the piano. I could go back to that as well.
Mhm.
And I love to be in nature. It gives me great joy.
Mhm.
And
But
you like
actually,
hiking?
hiking, biking, kayaking, California, all of it.
All the
Should not
things.
live here. Yeah. But I like Cindy that she cuts out time in the day and says, this is my time. Yeah, that's so important.
Yeah.
Did you receive that, Cindy?
I did.
Because I
Thank you very
stink at
much.
receiving, so
Yeah,
I'm
no,
gonna start
no,
noticing.
definitely. And I think the thing is that oh, crap, I just lost the thought. Um, and it was a good one too. Um,
I'll come back.
yeah, and oh, I know what I was gonna say. For me, the other two things that for me are, I'm gonna say helpful but also joyful, are number one, my commitment to the amount of sleep that I get,
Hmm.
whatever form that takes as part of self-care.
Amen.
um, and my meditation practice. And that's for me. I don't care what anybody else thinks about that. That nurtures me in so many ways. So it isn't just about whether it's fun, it's also about, is it in my heart and spirit, bringing joy?
I say I wake up in the morning full of hope and possibility, and I go to bed when I run out. Sometimes it's really early.
That's really good t-shirts today.
Amen. Been there, done that, sister. Can I go to bed yet?
Yeah.
I was at a friend's last night and they were, sitting down like after dinner, everybody's talking and they're like, hey, let's play poker. And somebody looked at me and was like, you want to take a nap? I'm like,
What about you, Heidi? What's your self-care? What do you do for self?
Gosh, I mean, Cindy, I love too what you said about the, meditation. And I really try to be cognizant to start that early in the morning, regardless of what time my calls start, which sometimes are the middle of the night for me. But Tamara, I'm beating your drum where it says, I wake up joyful and hopeful. And when I run out, boy, sometimes it's a lot earlier than what my calendar had planned into it. So can so relate. That I think, I'm so happy that the weather has changed even for just a couple of days. And I know it's gonna, we're still in winter, spring, winter, as I call it. It gives you a taste just to hook you in. But I walk out, for those of you who don't know, I walk out to quote the dead people. It's actually a cemetery that is part of the Catholic Church. And so they have not only this huge chapel, but it's the old dormitory for the nuns. And of course, I know all the groundskeepers, all of the retired priests now that come, and they do a lot of group activities. So they do marriage counseling, and they'll have like 100 people come and walk the grounds. And not all of it is cemetery. It is also this kind of, I would say, park. And I use that term really lightly because it's a lot of weeds, but grass that they mow down to look like, or weeds that they mow down to look like grass. But it's just a very spiritual place for me. And I will literally sit out there for 4 hours doing conference calls. And so I did my first walk out there yesterday, and I just had no idea how much I missed it until, I was almost in tears because it just felt so delightful to be there. And what I've tried to do during these last winter months is really, you know, to be okay to fun and peace doesn't have to be an activity. I think so much of it, I've been programmed that, to have fun, you have to go do something instead of just be. And so I'm carving out that time and not feeling guilty about staying in the moment and staying in my own energy and really looking at like, what does that mean for me? And even sometimes when I'm seeing things that I don't want to see and peeling it back to allow the light to come in and do the healing, it just, it has like, the last 6 months have been incredible. The last 6 weeks have just been so intense. And I feel like whatever shifts I have accepted and I'm looking forward to for more coming in is I know I'm on the right path and the right journey. And I'm freaking going to have fun and enjoy it.
Amen. Hmm.
Interesting. I love that. And it's I do those things too. I live by a preserve, so I can walk to a lake and sit by it, watch the sun go down. I used to get out of therapy sessions Friday afternoon. I'd go to a lake, walk around the lake and let go of the week. I don't know how that lake survived, but it did. But it's just like, oh yeah, I have my little sacred spaces. So I'm gonna have to look at that again now to be able to define that better. Maybe it'll be on water skis. I don't know.
I have my tutor as well. That's my grounding.
Hi, baby.
Nuka.
She's like, hey, I will remind you to go outside and practice self-care. And I will remind you to sit still every morning and pet me contemplatively. I will remind you, actually, I will knock a cell phone out of your hand if you try to pick it up while you're doing that. And so sometimes we need tutors. Just a tutor.
Yes.
Yep.
I've got my Willow and my Watson. every morning I must sit between them.
Awesome. And Heidi had her cat pop in for a visit.
Yeah.
Lulu loves Teresa. So when she hears her voice, you guys, that's so funny. She literally was on the opposite side of the house. And I kept wondering, I wonder how long it's going to take her to tune in. And sure enough, she can't help herself.
Yeah. Animals are the best. Rowan's curled up at my feet.
They're so intuitive. It's funny because with this move to Ireland, I actually called Teresa and asked her to talk to Nuka for me. so that I could get her consent, because she has to change home and change pack and break her own bonds and do those things. And I just didn't feel okay doing that without consent. So anyway, I was like, so Teresa, can you do me a favor? I get to talk to my dog. Anyway, so she's okay.
And yeah, and Nuka was really insistent, like, you are not leaving me behind. Like, you are my first pack. You are my person. Yeah.
My doggo.
Yeah. So, in the values that you claim for yourself, we have to include fun, right? We have to include some values that give us space. And space to self-nurture and space to enjoy all the things that nurture. And also, similarly with our vision and our purpose, most of the time when we look at vision and purpose, it's what we're going to do for the world, right? There is an element, what are you going to do for you to ensure that you're a full cup to water the world, right? And I love the themes, right? Nature, self-care, self-love, creativity, community. Yeah. And do you notice when you don't have it? Yeah, me too. Okay. Anything else we want to talk about around these subjects?
I would throw one more thing out, and Teresa, you and I talked about this a little bit, but the struggle between our mind and thinking through something versus being aware of our emotions and our emotional reactions to a situation. And what came to me this week was that I have to work to keep the emotions in check as well as listening to them, because otherwise they allow them to become a stronger force, usually more on the negative side. But I think that I know for me, getting out of my head is vital and critical. So it's just a commitment I have to make to myself.
Yeah, good point. Me too. And the relationship between our thoughts and stories and the emotions they evoke and how they are self-perpetuating. It's like you get on this rat wheel, right? So one of the best ways to interrupt that rat wheel, and we've talked about this before, but is to say to yourself, what is my next thought? Because it immediately halts that cycle, immediately. And then you can choose, oh, I want to feel peace. I want to feel clarity. And the other thing that is important about that mental, emotional connection is they have a vote. They each have a vote, but they don't get to make the decision. I think that's really important. Ariel something out of Harvard. I'll look it up. Wrote a book about how, the mind is the CEO and the emotions are the COO, and assigned roles to each of these perceptions. And not one gets to make the decision. It needs to be a collaboration. And for me, ultimately, I know the decision is right is if I'm at peace, I'm calm, I'm centered, I'm grounded, and I can feel it in my solar plexus. Because you can't fool that. You can't game your intuition. But you can certainly game your emotions and your mental states, right? Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up, Cindy. Okay. So our next session is in a week, and we're going to do channeling. I know. It's fun. What that looks like is Heidi's going to moderate as I go into channel, and you guys get to ask questions. Ask anything you want. We go one by one and see what the guides have to say and what they want to bring in to the circle. And then the following week, we start working on brilliance, your inner brilliance. So it's exciting. Laying the foundation. Wait and see how it unfolds. It's miraculous. All right, friends. Is there anything else, or shall we break a little bit early?
Well, are you going to post the PowerPoint on the inner brilliance ahead of time, or are you going to wait until that day?
Yeah, no, I'll post it early.
Okay.
Yep.
Keener.
All right.
Thank you. I love having the smaller group. I just want to throw that out there. Like, I love this group because we can really get into these topics at such a deeper level. I love this.
You're prejudiced.
You, Heidi.
I agree, Heidi. It's been a deeper conversation today, and I always take notes, but now I have to go back and listen and go over my notes and see what I can pull from that to grow more from all of your wisdom.
Yeah.
It's so much better when everybody shares from authentic life experiences. That's when we really learn.
But I'm a fun person and I only want to talk about fun things. Damn it.
Well,
Teresa
I'm a
knows.
masochist, so pain can be fun too. No,
My pain can beat your pain. No, I appreciate this is my week of sharing. That's my goal, is to share what's going on in my life. And so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, the fourth one. So thank you.
I'm glad you are, Anne, because even from our last conversation, I can see a change.
Oh, yeah, it's been very supportive.
Yeah.
So now I can breathe and go play and have fun.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
And Becca, please do share your chat GPT and the prompts
Yeah.
because I am all over playing with that.
Yeah.
Will do.
I just
All
got
right.
the chat GPT deep research module for work. So I'm like, ooh, we can put it in deep research and find out if it's
Oh my God.
they can really think about it then.
Oh my gosh. Is that really what you're working on right now?
That's one of the things that I'm working with. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, how fun. Oh,
Yeah, I'm having more fun with work than I've had in ages. So
yay. I love
yeah,
that.
all that entrepreneurial masochism paid off.
Yep.
Anyway, all right, love you all. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for bringing this time of joy into my week, which has been heavy.
Oh, we love
Love you guys.
Love you
Thank
guys.
you all.
We'll see you next week.